The Making of a Sire. Flying Cowboy 123. On the previous episode of Making of a Sire, the talented colt Flying Cowboy 123 was poised and ready to run his career race as a 2-year-old in the Grade 1 $1 million Texas Classic Futurity in Grand Prairie, Texas. The climax of a 2-year-old campaign ending off in a Grade 1 $1 million Futurity win catapulted him to racing headlines across the quarter horse racing world, making him one of the hottest sought-after sire prospects in quarter horse racing. And it also caught the attention of the voters for year-ending honors. At the Heritage Place January sale in Oklahoma City, the AQHA hands out their year-ending honors, and Flying Cowboy 123 made the nominee list for Champion 2-year-old Colt.
Your 2018 Champion 2-year-old Colt is Flying Cowboy 123.
Well, we were excited about the colt from the beginning. He had a couple bad starts, and he come on in the Rainbow Futurity, and we were just blessed to have him win the Classic. It's 2 out of 3 years for us, and I just want to thank Blaine and Trey Woods. I mean, he bought the horse, he trained the horse, and he got us where we needed to be.
Oh, you give $100,000 for one, and to me that's a lot of money. Some people that's not a lot of money, but to me it is. It was mission accomplished, and it's kind of hard. Most trainers don't like keeping these studs. They want to gild them, and it's just nice to have one that you can bring along, that you can keep a stud that's as good as Cowboy. Going back to, they got to be smart, and they got to be able to, to be a stud, to handle the pressure of being a stud colt. And so when we won that award, that was, to me, it was mission accomplished.
With a championship Grade 1 winning campaign behind them, it was time to map out the royally bred colt's path in 2019 for his 3-year-old year, all the while garnering lots of attention from the major breeding farms throughout the industry, all wanting to secure his services for his post-race breeding career.
Well, Flying, he was on the radar pretty much all of his 2-year-old year. He's a very unique pedigreed individual, and so he was on everybody's radar. And certainly, when he won the Classic here last year. So we've been watching him all year.
At this point in juncture, there's a lot of different stud farms that were running at us, wanting to stand him, because now he's a stakes winner, he's stakes placed, and of course he's royally bred, and so we really started thinking about being a stud horse, being at some stud farm, and so we wanted to go for the Grade 1 derbies. We wanted to try to, campaign him as flashy as we could, and so his paid and everything in Ruidoso, so that's the route we took.
Same thing was to go to Ruidoso, run the 3 that we could run. Sometimes you can't get him on. The horse gets a little lame and you want to save him. That's one thing that Blaine does. If your horse is not quite ready for that race, he'll take him out of one of the Triple Crown races, because he wants to shoot for the end of the year. He wants to be All-American, and he also wants the Classic. So we were ready. We were ready, I think, and it showed it.
When we got to Ruidoso to run him in the derbies, I gave him another workout there, and he worked again. Very impressive, worked really good. We kicked him away from the gate this time with 2 or 3 other horses, and he just looked really, really good.
All set for trial 7 for the Ruidoso Derby. They're running. Flying Cowboy 123, fast. Excessive Gambler goes right with him. On the outside, also Denali Blizzard. Then it is Fantastic Feature JR. Inside of that, Shoshone Moon, but Flying Cowboy 123 is rocketing away and gonna blitz this field.
Another qualifying effort that leads to a spot in the finals in the gate in a Grade 1 at Ruidoso. this time into the Grade 1 Ruidoso Derby as the 7th fastest qualifier, with his stablemate and All-American Futurity winning Apocalyptical Jess qualifying fastest of all to make the field.
We took him into the Ruidoso Derby trials and just set a fast time. I mean, the horse just felt really, really good. I mean, I knew we were getting it. We were going very fast down the racetrack, and you know, I just with this performance, I had a good feeling that he had set a qualifying time, and sure enough, we made the finals to the Ruidoso Derby.
In the finals of the Derby, jockey Ricky Ramirez, who qualified both the fastest qualifier, Apocalyptical Jess, and Flying Cowboy 123, made the decision to stay aboard the Texas Classic Futurity winning Flying Cowboy 123, with the stablemates going postward, and even with him being the 7th fastest qualifier, Flying Cowboy 123 was the post-time favorite in the near $1 million Grade 1 Ruidoso Derby. Jockey Tanner Thedford would pick up the mount on the All-American Futurity winning Apocalyptical Jest in a field that went postward with tremendously stout runners that included the likes of All-American Juvenile winner Danger and Remington Futurity winning Lender 16.
Running in the Ruidoso Derby. Good break from Ollie. Apocalyptical Jess with early speed along with Danger in between horses. Flying Cowboy 1-2-3 toward the outside. He's Wine and Dine is running a big one. And then Extreme outside midday. There's Apocalyptical Jess. Danger pushes him every inch. Apocalyptical Jess holds on in the Ruidoso Derby.
For Flying Cowboy 123, a decent effort to run fourth in the highly touted field of 3-year-olds. But anything less than a win in a Grade 1 event, from the owner's standpoint, is a slight disappointment. The stablemate of Flying Cowboy 123, Apocalyptical Jess, shows his affinity for the Ruidoso racecourse with another huge Grade 1 win on the mountain.
Good field of horses. I think that was one of the toughest derbies that I can remember. Back in the finals, he didn't do anything wrong. They just all hooked up and had a good horse race. He wound up, was it 4th? And he ran a good race. You know, we couldn't get mad at him because he had run 4th in the Grade 1, and that was like I said, that was probably the best selection that could have been in the Derby. That Derby there, the All-American winner horse won it, and it was close. Nobody run off with it. So
I've been on a lot of colts as 2-year-olds and transitioned to 3-year-olds, and you know, Flying Cowboy was one of those colts that just never lost his focus in racing. I've seen a lot of colts change, you know, after they're 2-year-old and going to 3-year-olds, they change their attitude on racing, and Flying Cowboy never did. He's just one of those horses that stayed focused on his job. I remember when I got on him as a 3-year-old in a workout in preparation for the Ruidoso Derby trials. I worked the horse, and he just worked really, really good. It's like he never missed a step. It almost seemed like we never laid him off over the winter. He just come back really good, craving it again. So I was very excited about being able to ride him as a 3-year-old.
Bob Moore Farms in Norman, Oklahoma is proud to announce the arrival of their prized package. The hottest sire prospect of 2019 has left the racetrack and arrived at Bob Moore Farms. The sensational Flying Cowboy 123, fresh off of a win in the 2019 edition of the Texas Classic Derby. With only 3 horses in history to have won both the Classic Futurity and the Derby.
Cowboy 123 won the Texas Classic Futurity and now Derby.
Standing at Bob Moore Farms in Norman, Oklahoma, Flying Cowboy 123.